Hey guys, I'm coming from you at your local Crazy Charlie's hot dog shop. Oh. I don't want to be coming from someone or coming on. Hey guys, this is Connor coming at you from your favorite local hot dog shop, Crazy Charlie's. I've got another electronic album recommendation here today. One of my favorite current electronic artists, Floating Points, and his Cascade album. Floating Points, also known as Sam Shepard. He's a British electronic DJ and producer, musician. I think as far as the current electronic music state or scene goes, I think he's an important figure, one to watch out for. He has a knowledge of like jazz and a lot of like producer technicality, along with just a cool approach to house music. I was actually first put on to Floating Points with his 2021 album Promises, and this is like a spiritual and ambient jazz album backed up by the London Symphony Orchestra. It's only 3 years old, but I'd already consider it to be like timeless, with Pharoah Sanders, his saxophone, along with the strings from the London Symphony Orchestra. It just works really well. So that was my introduction and one of my favorite albums of that year. This album is the one I'm gonna be talking to you about today, from last year. And don't go into this album expecting an ambient jazz, because this is a straight up tech house album. I think you'll be surprised how catchy and repetitive this album can be without being too one note. I'd like to talk about, the first track, Vocoder. A lot of the longer tracks on here are I forget what I even said about that one, honestly.
That's fine. You think about Birth 4000?
Oh, Birth 4000? Actually, I have the Birth 4000 single. It doesn't say it on there. Okay. So yeah, ask that again. Birth 4000, that was a single leading up to this Cascade album. It was a super catchy, engaging one from the bat. Definitely like the club banger. And even though it doesn't like go as many places or take you on a journey like some of the other tracks on here, it's still like instantly catchy and gets your head and body moving.
Can you tell me a little bit about Del Oro?
Del Oro was another single highlight leading up to the album. It had a lot of tension and release, which I think a lot of the best electronic and house tracks usually mess with. Just kept you on the edge of your seat for the next drum or rhythm switch up. And then the track 5 following that on this album here was Fast Forward, and this is a personal favorite of mine because I like any electronic song that kind of takes you on a journey. Just get lost in a rhythmic experience each time. The following track from there would be Octilio. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's one of the chiller moments here on the album. Kind of reminds me of Fortet with these like electroacoustic arpeggios at the start of the track. It definitely still has that Floating Points touch. Also, like a lot of the longer cuts on this album, the instrumentals build in such a satisfying way that you forget you're listening to a 7-8 minute long track. Following that, we have Affleck's Palace. This one is for the Aphex Twin fans out there. Affleck's Palace has some like heady acid techno kind of rhythms and something for those type of electronic heads if that is up your alley, which it's definitely mine. Tilt Shift, that's the second to last song, and that's just some disjointed drum and bass. Kind of reminds me of the Floating Points 2019 Crush LP, which was just a little more like IDM and like all over the place as far as electronic music goes. The final track on this album here is called Ablaze. It's like a little cool down ambient moment on the album. Definitely the chillest so far. It's not a personal favorite of mine, as I prefer a lot of the headier, dancier tracks on here. Yeah, it's not a bad send off to the record. I would say this album is one of the best albums of 2024. Especially talking electronic albums, probably in the past year or two for me personally. I compare this album to like a red and blue mixed slushy here, you know? It's like a cool and refreshing taste on tech and techno house music. So yeah, I think this album would be great for like a summer's day if you're walking or going out for a run. I like to listen to it a lot in my car or at the gym. If you are interested in more albums like this or want to hear music similar, I have 5 albums that are in a similar vein that I'd recommend checking out. There's Lovin' You by Fortet. Similar to Floating Points though, it made some of the coolest micro house, they call it, chill, cool rhythms on here. Dancey as hell, I love it. Another album I'd want to point your way if you're wanting to hear some more artists in similar vein would be this Against All Logic, also known as Nicholas Jar. He's one of my favorite producers, and this album is his Against All Logic alias, so it's definitely more like house-centric, rhythm-centric, a lot of cool vocal edits on here too. If you're looking for something more ambient, maybe you're something a little darker, moodier, this is Burial's Untrue, so like UK garage, definitely a little moodier. And then we've got Jamie XX in Color. This is gonna have some more vocals and singing performances throughout, but still just as dancey, just as cool and engaging. Sorry, I keep looking at the cool album art and forget to look at you guys here. But last but not least, you gotta have Homework. This is one of my favorite house albums, and Daft Punk, you can't go wrong. They kind of help pioneer and push the genre forward for albums like this. Those are 5 ones that, yeah, I'd point your way. New music, I think that Floating Points is working on. I don't know why I just moved this in front. Some new music that Floating Points has been working on is for an Adult Swim show on HBO. It's called Lazarus, and I've only checked out a few episodes, but the music and the show has seemed very cool so far. So yeah, it's keeping me on edge and looking forward to more from this artist. And yeah, you can look forward to more reviews here and recommends from your local hot dog shop. Signing off. There you go. Oh, got a mixed slush, a little blue raspberry and cherry action.
Can we see that?
Refreshing for a summer's day.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, I overfilled. Okay, no, yeah, signing off here, sorry. It is what it is. I was trying to get the perfect red and blue mix, and then I overfilled, so I just wanted it to look like the cover.